This is Logical Logistics, where we cover shipping, supply chain, logistics, and everything in between. Welcome to the show.
Hello, everybody. It's Joe Becht, Logical Logistics. Once again, we are joined by Jay Fraze from Tech Data. Jay, what is happening?
Hey, Joe. Appreciate you inviting me on your podcast again.
Yeah. Well, last time we talked, we were in an entirely different world.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and things have changed. So what we would like to find out is what is happening at Tech Data and how are you handling this crisis?
Yep, absolutely. So I'll be honest. I think the Americas, especially North America here, kind of got caught a little bit by surprise. We have been, being a global company, we have been watching this for months on end, but really didn't understand how this would impact our business. So we did take some precautions in advance, and kind of hit our APAC area and in Europe and now United States. So the good news is, because of some actions that we took early on, Tech Data is open for business. We're deemed essential, and we are being extremely productive right now. So depending on how deep you want to go, I can kind of walk you through some of the things that we did, Joe.
Please do. I think a lot of the people out there would like to find out about success and some positive news in our business world.
Okay. Yep. So business continuity planning has always been big for Tech Data. Being based out of Clearwater, Florida, there's always that annual threat with our hurricane season. In the history I've been at Tech Data, there's only been 2 times really where we had to implement a business continuity plan. They were spread out about 15 years apart. So I think the last one was about a year and a half ago. But due to that, we learn something more and more each and every time that we go through this exercise. So we have annual updates to that plan. And more recently, we have identified that we don't need to fly people all over the country to support in different locations, but rather we upgrade our technology. So we have issued within our supply chain organization everybody laptops, which are imaged with special software, so we can actually control all the phones from Clearwater all the way back out to the laptops, kind of a voice over ID. I'm not the technical guy behind this, but I do know it works and it's been tested. So right now I have about 50 people working from home.
Okay.
That is fully operational, same as if we're in the office. The only difference is we just can't look across the desk and physically see them there.
Right.
So we started this about 3 weeks ago. We're going to go to an Alpha Bravo, where we had half our team that work 1 week, and then the other half of the team the following week. And that would limit our exposure. That if anything were to happen at Tech Data where someone was diagnosed with CD19, then we could quickly go from a work from home for that group, cleanse the building, and then bring the other group back in. And then everyone from the first group would be, anybody that had direct contact would be in their quarantine. So we felt we had a pretty good plan in place. But then on week 2, with all these stay-at-home and the virus continuing to spread, we felt it was the right thing to do to go 100% work from home. So I'm happy to say that we're on week 3 right now with working from home, and it's been going exceptionally well within my division.
Excellent. Are there any people, though, out there, grunts, still out there doing essential services in person?
There are, absolutely. I mean, there's a few things that we can't do from home from our corporate. But, in our global lifecycle management division, we do offer services. So we have a group of people that are still out traveling and doing repair, installation, that type of services throughout the country. So we're being extremely cautious with those individuals. They have strict guidelines, and they also are any instance where they feel they might be around the coronavirus, they do board themselves up for 14 days, kind of a self-evaluation, or see a doctor until they're clear to go back out.
Okay.
So,
Yeah.
Also, Joe, we have 10 warehouses in North America, and we also implemented this over in Europe, but we've kind of gone to protect our workers and our business partners for disruption of business. We've gone to a split, kind of a staggered approach to our shifts where we have a group come in. Our warehouses are very large, and the employees are kind of spaced out. Everyone has their own workstation. So we're definitely within the limits of protecting the employee once they're at work. We're taking precautions on their way in and their way out. But after their normal shift, we have a crew comes in that does a thorough cleaning, and then it takes about an hour to 2 hours, and then we have our second shift come in. So we've gone to a split shift where there's no overlay anymore. So the interaction between employees between shifts is basically down to zero at this point. So again, we're trying to take every precaution possible to make sure we protect our employees, which in reality is going to protect our customers to keep the business continuity flowing.
That's great. That's great to hear. Have you seen any breaks in the chain internationally that have affected you? And if so, how have you worked around that?
Well, I know Apple came out early on that they're having challenges with the contract manufacturers, and we deal with some of those same contract manufacturers. So starting in China, there was a break in the supply chain where factories just weren't producing for about 2.5, 3 weeks. Some of the major players had zero productivity coming out of their factories. So that really impacted globally, because we deal with contract manufacturers in Mexico, let's say, as well. But a lot of the components come out of China. So while Mexico was fully operational, they couldn't get the components to where to produce. So their production came down. So the impact of China originally really did affect the supply chain globally. And we kind of see it moving from place to place at this point. We know Mexico, for instance, is just starting to get the virus. I'm not sure how well prepared they are, so we do expect quite a significant impact on productivity coming here in the next 4 to 6 weeks out of Mexico.
Right. Yeah. It's so dependent on the testing.
Mm-hmm.
It could be. You bring up a country like Mexico. It could be widespread, but no one's been tested. So it's just so many unknowns, but it's really interesting. Do you ever foresee the supply chain becoming more centric to the United States domestically? Is it even realistic?
Yeah, it's hard to say, but I do think that because of what's going on today, everyone is going to be looking at their supply chain a little bit differently going forward. I think there's going to be a lot of opportunity globally for people to go back and kind of identify what they learned, what worked, what didn't work, where there are gaps in their supply chain, right? Especially people that might be single-threaded. If you have your product in a single plant or coming from a single production manufacturing facility, you're quickly identify that you are at risk without any kind of redundancy. So these are things post the pandemic that we can go back and look at and help our partners kind of build out a more solid supply chain.
All right. Well, that's great to hear. I really, it's great to hear from you, and I thank you for joining us. I know you're busy. We just wanted to get an update on what TechData is doing and get people out there, because there's a lot of unknowns, and now we know what a company like yours is doing in this time of crisis.
Yeah, thanks, Joe. My advice to people out there is just take this seriously. If your government or your city, local, or even the national, the government, gives us warnings, adhere to it, right? Because there's so many unknowns. We don't even know sure what the unknowns of this virus long term is going to be. So it's better to be safe today than sorry tomorrow. So yeah, that's my advice.
Agreed. Listen to Dr. Fauci. Try to weed out all the other stuff and just keep on carrying on. So stiff upper lip. Well, thanks again. And we'll talk soon. Hopefully next time in better circumstances.
Yep, sounds good, Joe. And again, I appreciate you having me back on the show.
All right, thanks.
Click the subscribe button for new videos every week and download us and review us on iTunes. Visit www.beslogistics.net for more logistics, transportation, and warehousing resources. Thanks for watching.